Mastering the nothing bothers me mindset. Imagine living life where nothing truly shakes your peace. No careless comments, no sudden setbacks, no irritating distractions. Imagine stepping into any situation with absolute calm, unfazed by turmoil. What if every challenge thrown your way only sharpened your resolve rather than weakened it? Life is relentless. Every single day it hurls countless distractions, judgments from others, unexpected frustrations, and unforeseen obstacles right into your path. It never stops testing your patience or poking at your vulnerabilities. Yet the most resilient among us are not those who escape these trials. They face the same daily storms, but rather they have mastered a unique, powerful skill, the art of emotional detachment. Think of emotional detachment not as apathy or a lack of feeling, but rather as the ability to remain firmly anchored, unaffected by external chaos. Picture yourself walking steadily through a fierce storm, unfazed by the winds howling around you, unmoved by the lightning crackling above. This calm, this unwavering composure, this is true strength. When you allow external circumstances to control your emotions, you unknowingly surrender your personal power. You become a puppet, reacting impulsively to every criticism, setback, or negative event. But what if you could regain control? What if you could become the master of your emotional world instead of its victim? History and daily life both show us that the individuals who earn genuine respect, admiration, and influence are not the ones who react impulsively. They don't shout louder, argue fiercely, or rush to defend their egos. Instead, they radiate a quiet yet unmistakable authority. They carry themselves with dignity and an internal strength so powerful that their silence often speaks louder than any words. Consider the great historical figures who've shaped our world. What set them apart wasn't their loud voices or emotional outbursts. It was their disciplined composure, their ability to appear unaffected by criticism or adversity. They seemed to possess a secret understanding, an invisible armor shielding them from life's harsh realities. This is precisely the power you gain when you master emotional detachment. Self-mastery and success literature repeatedly teaches that your thoughts shape your reality. Every reaction you exhibit begins first as a thought in your mind. If your thoughts constantly revolve around reacting emotionally to life's challenges, then you hand over your mental and emotional freedom to external factors. But by cultivating a mindset of calm detachment, you reclaim your ability to shape your world. Imagine a scenario: someone publicly insults you. Your immediate instinct might be anger, defensiveness, or retaliation. But what happens if instead you simply offer a calm smile and walk away? You rob your antagonist of their expected satisfaction. Without your reaction, they lose their influence over you, left confused and disoriented. Meanwhile, you emerge stronger, untouched, unbothered, undefeated. This quiet dominance is something very few master, but everyone admires deeply. The same principle applies to setbacks and failures. Many people crumble under rejection, disappointment, or temporary defeat. They allow their emotions to drown their perspective, losing days, weeks, or even years in regret and frustration. But those who understand emotional detachment view failure differently. They see it merely as feedback, a stepping stone, an opportunity to recalibrate and move forward stronger. They do not internalize the setback. They learn from it, adjust their approach, and continue onwards undaunted. So how do you build such resilience? It starts with consciously training your mind every single day. Before reacting emotionally, pause for a brief moment. Ask yourself, does this situation genuinely impact my long-term goals? Is reacting impulsively worth sacrificing my internal peace and power? By consistently choosing thoughtful non-reaction, you build an emotional armor so strong that life's trivialities can no longer penetrate it. Another essential practice is visualization. Consistently visualize yourself as someone unaffected by negativity, confidently handling any situation that arises. Reinforce this image repeatedly, and it gradually becomes your reality. The mind, powerful as it is, transforms consistent visualization into tangible behavior. Soon enough, others will marvel at your composure and wonder at your unshakable confidence. Let people question why you remain unaffected. Let them wonder at your remarkable composure. Because when nothing bothers you, you become more than merely resilient. You become powerful, authoritative, and profoundly respected. Your calmness becomes your greatest asset, making you someone others aspire to emulate yet never quite fully understand. Master this mindset and you master life itself. Emotional detachment and control. True strength isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. Imagine being able to navigate life's unpredictable storms without ever losing your footing. Imagine every insult, failure, or unexpected setback passing through you, unable to disturb your peace or disrupt your composure. This isn't about being emotionally numb. It's about having complete authority over how you respond to life. Most people live their lives constantly reacting. An insult triggers anger, a setback triggers frustration, criticism triggers insecurity. Their emotional states swing wildly based on circumstances outside their control. But genuine power comes from being the observer rather than the reactor. It's about responding consciously instead of instinctively. It's about making deliberate choices rather than allowing impulses to control you. Consider this scenario. Someone insults you publicly, aiming to embarrass or provoke you. For many, the instinctive reaction is immediate anger, defensiveness, or retaliation. Yet think about the power you gain if instead you remain calm, perhaps even smiling quietly and walking away. By refusing to engage emotionally, you completely neutralize their attack. Their words, stripped of your reaction, become meaningless. This silent strength not only leaves your aggressor unsettled, it elevates you, giving you an aura of quiet dignity that commands respect without a single word. This same logic applies to setbacks and failures. Most people internalize defeat. They lose days, weeks, or even years replaying the mistakes, lamenting lost opportunities, or feeling trapped in disappointment. But emotional mastery offers a different path. Rather than seeing setbacks as personal defeats, emotionally strong individuals view them purely as feedback, vital data to adjust and improve. Failure isn't personal, it's practical. It's an opportunity for growth, adaptation, and progress. With this mindset, you remain empowered no matter how difficult your circumstances become. History's greatest figures illustrate this perfectly. Thomas Edison famously faced thousands of failed experiments before inventing the electric light bulb. Yet rather than seeing these attempts as failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've simply discovered 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's resilience wasn't emotional suppression. It was conscious emotional control. His mindset transformed potential despair into productive determination, ultimately shaping his legacy as one of history's most innovative minds. How do you cultivate this extraordinary level of emotional control? It begins with daily practice, training your mind to pause before reacting. Next time someone provokes you or a frustrating situation arises, give yourself space. Take a moment, breathe. Ask yourself, is my reaction serving my long-term goals? Will responding emotionally help or hurt my situation? More often than not, you'll realize your emotional reaction is unnecessary, perhaps even harmful. By repeatedly choosing thoughtful response over impulsive reaction, you gradually develop an emotional shield, a powerful mental armor that protects your inner peace. Visualization is another critical tool in developing emotional mastery. Regularly imagine yourself navigating challenging scenarios with effortless calm. Picture yourself facing criticism without flinching, absorbing setbacks without frustration, and managing intense pressure without panic. As you continually reinforce this mental image, it begins shaping your subconscious mind, translating imagined composure into real-life behavior. Soon, your mind naturally seeks calm responses rather than impulsive reactions. Practicing mindfulness further strengthens this emotional resilience. Mindfulness means observing your emotions without immediate judgment or reaction. It's about allowing feelings to pass through you, noticing them, but not identifying with them. When you feel anger, frustration, or fear arise, acknowledge the sensation without immediately giving in. This mindful pause weakens the emotion's intensity, returning you to a state of clarity and equilibrium. Over time, mindfulness builds a profound mental strength, making emotional detachment second nature. Let others wonder how you stay so composed. Let them puzzle over your unshakable calm. Your silence, your thoughtful responses, and your unwavering presence become your greatest strengths. By maintaining emotional detachment, you turn what others perceive as weakness, non-reaction, into your greatest weapon. You become enigmatic, a person whose calmness inspires respect, admiration, and even curiosity. But emotional detachment is not indifference. It's not about becoming cold or distant. Rather, it's about refusing to surrender control of your emotional world to external forces. You still experience happiness, sadness, excitement, but your emotions serve you rather than controlling you. Your inner peace remains intact, unaffected by external chaos. Stress diminishes, clarity expands, and life's challenges transform from daunting battles into manageable puzzles. Remember, your mind shapes your reality. When external circumstances dictate your emotional state, you're surrendering your power. But when you consciously control your thoughts and reactions, you reclaim authority over your life. Every challenge, insult, or failure becomes another opportunity to reinforce your inner strength. Embrace this mindset. Understand that true power doesn't lie in dominating others or seeking validation. True power lies in your ability to remain unaffected, to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Master your emotions, and you'll master your world. Mindful indifference, your key to real freedom. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be completely free, not burdened by constant worries, criticisms, or judgments? Imagine a life where trivial problems fade away, unable to disturb your peace, because you've learned exactly where to focus your precious energy. This isn't merely wishful thinking, it's the powerful reality of mindful indifference. Society conditions us to care deeply about everything. Other people's opinions, fleeting criticisms, temporary setbacks. We're taught from an early age that our value is measured by external validation, acceptance, and approval. We endlessly chase the applause of others, believing this pursuit defines our worth. But real freedom comes the moment you realize most things you worry about simply don't matter. Pause for a moment and think back to something that troubled you 5 years ago. A minor embarrassment, a harsh word from someone, or perhaps an awkward moment in public. Chances are today that incident barely registers in your memory. Yet, at the time, it consumed your thoughts, hijacked your emotions, and controlled your mood. This is exactly why mastering mindful indifference is transformative. It's about distinguishing what deserves your emotional energy from what doesn't. It's prioritizing meaning over noise, choosing purpose over fleeting distractions. Let's be clear. Mindful indifference isn't about apathy or a careless attitude towards life. Instead, it's about careful prioritization. It's recognizing that your energy, your emotional and mental capacity is finite and incredibly valuable. Why waste that precious resource reacting emotionally to trivial matters, insignificant criticisms, or temporary setbacks that in the grand scheme mean nothing? Mindful indifference helps you shift from being emotionally reactive to becoming thoughtfully responsive. Consider people you deeply admire, great leaders, inspiring innovators, people who radiate calm authority in every situation. Do they scramble to defend themselves against minor criticisms? Do they exhaust themselves seeking validation or approval from every passing opinion? Of course not. These individuals have mastered the art of mindful indifference. They remain calm, focused, and unshaken, no matter how loud the world around them becomes. When you practice mindful indifference, people begin noticing something extraordinary about you. Not because you're loudly asserting your strength, but precisely because you don't feel the need to. Your calm, steady presence communicates a deeper confidence. Others sense your strength without you ever saying a word. You become someone who cannot be manipulated or easily swayed, someone who clearly knows their worth, their path, and their purpose. Imagine a scenario where you face unfair criticism, perhaps at work, among friends, or even from strangers. Most people immediately leap to their defense, over-explaining themselves, arguing back, or desperately trying to justify their actions. But not you. Instead, you remain silent, calmly detached, unaffected by someone else's opinion. You understand a crucial truth. Words only hold power if you grant it to them. Your calm, your silence, your mindful indifference sends a message far stronger than any impulsive reaction ever could. This powerful principle also applies directly to achieving success. Those who attain greatness don't squander their energy on petty conflicts or needless drama. They remain laser-focused on their goals, understanding that every moment wasted on trivialities delays their progress. They operate with clarity and purpose, unmoved by external distractions because they know exactly what they want. This clarity allows them to persistently move forward, making them virtually unstoppable. So how do you begin developing this mindful indifference? Start by consciously evaluating your reactions. The next time you feel anger, frustration, or anxiety bubbling up over something minor, pause. Ask yourself honestly, is this worth my energy? Will it matter in a week, a month, or a year? More often than not, the honest answer is no. By deliberately choosing not to engage emotionally, you start building resilience. Gradually, trivial matters lose their grip over you, and your energy remains reserved for things that truly matter. Another powerful step is clarifying your priorities. Take time to define what genuinely matters in your life: your purpose, personal growth, relationships, and inner peace. Once these priorities are crystal clear, the insignificant distractions and judgments fade naturally into the background. Your vision becomes unbreakable, and you become untouchable. Not because you care about nothing, but because you've wisely chosen what deserves your attention. Imagine walking through life with unwavering confidence, never again feeling the need to justify yourself to others. While the world scrambles for approval, chasing validation in every interaction, you remain steady, unaffected, guided only by your inner truth and purpose. This isn't arrogance. It's authentic power. It's the freedom that comes from mindful indifference. The ultimate strength lies not in reacting loudly or proving yourself aggressively, but in your quiet ability to remain unmoved. True influence doesn't require force or excessive emotional energy. It thrives in silence, confidence, and clarity. Those around you sense this immediately, even if they can't fully understand or articulate why. In the end, mindful indifference isn't about caring less, it's about caring selectively. It's consciously choosing where to invest your emotional and mental energy and refusing to waste it on insignificant noise. It's about understanding that most of the world's chaos simply doesn't deserve your reaction. Master this mindful indifference, and you don't merely survive, you flourish. While others exhaust themselves trying to control external opinions and circumstances, you thrive effortlessly, anchored firmly in self-awareness and purpose. Your unshakable composure becomes your ultimate advantage. In a noisy world desperate for validation, be the calm at its center. Master mindful indifference, and you will forever hold the power of true freedom. Stop seeking approval. How true confidence sets you free. Imagine a life where your self-worth no longer depends on someone else's opinion. Imagine feeling confident, powerful, and complete without ever needing validation from others. It's a powerful vision, yet surprisingly attainable. The key is simple yet profound. Stop seeking approval. From childhood, we're conditioned to crave approval, to feel secure only when others validate us. Our happiness, our confidence, even our identity becomes chained to external recognition. But there's a critical flaw in this mindset. When you rely on others for your sense of worth, you surrender control over your happiness. Your self-esteem rises and falls based on someone else's mood, opinion, or whim. Your life becomes a fragile balance, easily disrupted, rarely stable. True confidence, however, never comes from external approval. It arises from within. It's a quiet assurance built through self-reliance, authenticity, and courage. When your validation comes from inside, your confidence remains unshakable, immune to external criticism or praise. You no longer chase fleeting approval. Instead, you stand firm in knowing exactly who you are, embracing both your strengths and your imperfections unapologetically. Consider the most compelling, magnetic individuals you've ever encountered. Did they desperately seek approval? Did they change themselves to fit in or gain acceptance? Absolutely not. They radiated confidence precisely because they never felt the need to prove themselves. Their strength was rooted deeply in authenticity, self-awareness, and self-respect. Their confidence inspired others, yet it never depended upon anyone else's validation. The urge to seek approval stems from a basic human fear, the fear of rejection, judgment, or standing alone. This fear makes us prisoners of other people's expectations. We reshape ourselves endlessly, bending and twisting to fit molds created by others, friends, family, colleagues, even strangers. Yet in trying so desperately to please everyone, we ultimately betray ourselves. We sacrifice authenticity for acceptance, uniqueness for conformity. But here's the harsh truth. Universal approval is an impossible illusion. No matter who you are or what you achieve, someone will always disagree, criticize, or judge. Some will admire you, others won't care at all. So why exhaust yourself seeking approval from people whose opinions are fleeting and often irrelevant? Think about the innovators and leaders who shaped the world. Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, Martin Luther King Jr., Albert Einstein. Each faced relentless criticism, doubts, and outright rejection. Did they succumb? Did they seek validation? Never. They pursued their visions fearlessly, guided not by applause but by purpose. Their unshakable confidence and unwavering commitment to their paths earned them true greatness. If you desire similar strength, start by asking yourself honestly, whose opinion truly matters to me? Often the loudest critics are those least qualified to judge your journey. They don't walk your path, understand your struggles, or appreciate your vision. Their judgments carry no real significance unless you choose to give them power. Recognizing this liberates you from chasing meaningless approval. Another essential step is learning to validate yourself. Celebrate your progress, acknowledge your efforts, and appreciate your growth, even if nobody else notices. When you begin recognizing your worth independently, external validation naturally becomes unnecessary. Applause from others becomes pleasant but irrelevant. You no longer need external validation to feel worthy. You inherently know you are. Embracing this mindset doesn't mean becoming arrogant, dismissive, or disconnected. Instead, it's about respecting your journey, decisions, and self-worth without needing anyone else's permission or praise. It means understanding that your value isn't something that can be negotiated or diminished by external judgment. You become truly confident, secure in your worth, and completely authentic in every interaction. Consider an entrepreneur whose business suddenly collapses, wiping out years of hard work overnight. Society would expect him to crumble, to lose hope, feel ashamed, or desperately seek reassurance from others. But instead, he chooses differently. Rather than letting external judgments define him, he calmly acknowledges the setback as a lesson. He rebuilds stronger, guided solely by his inner conviction and vision. His self-worth never wavers, unaffected by public opinion. This resilience exemplifies the incredible power of internal validation. Authentic confidence naturally commands respect. Ironically, when you stop desperately seeking approval, people begin to respect and admire you even more. They sense your authenticity, admire your courage, and recognize the quiet strength you embody. You don't need to loudly proclaim your worth. Your presence alone speaks volumes. Visualize a life where external judgments no longer disturb your peace. Imagine pursuing your dreams without ever hesitating to wonder if others approve. Imagine expressing your authentic self without fear, shame, or apology. This isn't a fantasy. It's the powerful freedom that emerges once you break free from seeking external validation. Every time you feel tempted to chase approval, pause. Remind yourself that happiness based on external validation is fleeting and fragile. True contentment comes only from within, from embracing who you genuinely are, imperfections and all. The more you practice this internal acceptance, the easier it becomes to ignore the distracting noise around you. Freedom lies not in trying to please everyone, but in confidently walking your own path. It comes from embracing your authenticity, fiercely protecting your self-worth, and rejecting any attempt by others to define you. Leaders, visionaries, and true innovators never rely on external applause. They rely solely on their inner vision and passion. They don't just survive criticism, they transcend it. Ultimately, your journey towards self-reliance and authenticity will inspire those around you. While everyone else scrambles for approval, you'll quietly inspire others by demonstrating that confidence isn't something bestowed by others, it's something cultivated from within. Your authenticity becomes your legacy, your silent yet profound influence on the world around you. Stop chasing approval. Stop begging for validation. Embrace yourself fully, unapologetically, and authentically. True confidence comes when you realize you don't need anyone else's permission to be who you are. That realization, more than anything else, will set you free. The moment you reject external approval is the moment your life transforms. Your self-worth becomes invincible, your confidence unshakable, and your happiness everlasting. Because when your value comes solely from within, nothing and no one can ever take it away. Your gateway to strength and success. Criticism is unavoidable. No matter how talented, determined, or successful you become, someone will always have an opinion, often critical. But criticism itself isn't what defines you. Your reaction to it does. The difference between weakness and true strength lies precisely here: how effectively you handle criticism. Many people crumble at the first hint of disapproval. A negative comment, an unfavorable opinion, or a harsh judgment is enough to shake their confidence. They internalize the negativity, allowing it to shape their identity, influence their actions, and undermine their resolve. But here's the essential truth. Criticism only has as much power as you give it. Imagine criticism as nothing more than words, fleeting expressions, often coming from those who don't truly understand your vision or journey. These words hold absolutely no weight unless you react emotionally, granting them the power to disturb your inner peace. Criticism itself doesn't harm you. Your emotional response to it does. Strong, emotionally resilient people understand this clearly. They never allow criticism, especially destructive criticism, to disrupt their self-belief. Instead, they filter every judgment through logic and clarity, calmly assessing whether there's value in it. Constructive criticism becomes a valuable tool for growth, while destructive criticism is swiftly disregarded. Think of criticism as having two distinct forms, constructive and destructive. Constructive criticism is beneficial, even essential for your growth. It comes from experienced, knowledgeable people, genuinely interested in helping you improve. They point out weaknesses or mistakes not to diminish you, but to guide you toward greater achievement. When you encounter constructive criticism, embrace it gratefully and openly, using it to refine your skills and strategies. Destructive criticism, on the other hand, is entirely different. Its sole intent is to harm, diminish, or discourage you. It typically stems from jealousy, insecurity, misunderstanding, or even resentment. Those who deliver it rarely have your best interests in mind. Their opinions often reflect their limitations, frustrations, or fears rather than any objective truth about your abilities or potential. Emotionally resilient people recognize destructive criticism immediately and refuse to internalize it. They disregard these words without hesitation or emotional turmoil. Consider a sculptor working diligently on a masterpiece. People passing by may stop to watch. Some admire the art. Others offer helpful suggestions, while a few openly mock the effort. Does the sculptor abandon his creation because of a few negative voices? Certainly not. He continues carving confidently, guided solely by his internal vision, filtering out noise irrelevant to his purpose. This approach should also define how you handle criticism in your life. Whenever criticism arises, pause before reacting emotionally. Ask yourself calmly and objectively, does this person have the credibility, experience, or genuine intention required to evaluate my efforts? If the answer is yes, consider their feedback constructively. If the answer is no, simply move forward, unbothered and unaffected. Remember, not all opinions carry equal weight. Many critics haven't achieved what you aim for. Their views reflect their limitations, not your potential. The strongest, most successful individuals in history all faced intense criticism. Leaders, visionaries, and innovators were repeatedly doubted, questioned, and ridiculed. Yet, they pressed forward relentlessly. They knew criticism often accompanies greatness. In fact, it can even signal progress. Their emotional resilience allowed them to use criticism productively, rather than letting it break them. Their secret was simple. They responded calmly, logically, and decisively rather than emotionally. Building emotional resilience takes practice, but the rewards are enormous. The next time criticism emerges, resist the immediate impulse to become defensive or argumentative. Pause, take a breath, assess the feedback logically. Is it constructive? If yes, welcome it openly. Use it to sharpen yourself. If destructive, dismiss it immediately. Acknowledge it briefly, then release it completely. Refuse to grant negativity any emotional space within your mind or heart. Another powerful strategy is cultivating self-belief and inner confidence. When you genuinely trust your path and abilities, external criticism naturally loses power over you. Confidence rooted in self-awareness, purpose, and personal conviction acts like an emotional shield. The opinions of others, even harsh criticism, become secondary. Your inner voice remains clear, guiding you forward, immune to unnecessary distraction. Imagine facing criticism publicly, perhaps in your career or personal life. Many expect you to respond emotionally, to justify or defend yourself. But what if you chose silence instead? Not a defensive silence, but a calm, confident one. Your refusal to react emotionally disarms your critics, leaving them uncertain and even unsettled. Your composed non-reaction sends a powerful message about your strength and self-assurance, without ever uttering a word. When criticism appears, remember, it's often a test of your resilience. Weak-minded individuals immediately surrender their peace, becoming emotionally reactive, defensive, or discouraged. But truly strong individuals handle criticism differently. They acknowledge it, analyze it objectively, and decide whether it merits consideration or dismissal. Their internal calm remains undisturbed, their focus intact, their confidence unwavering. Greatness always involves exposure to criticism. If you never face criticism, you probably aren't pushing yourself far enough. Criticism often signals that you're growing, innovating, and challenging the status quo. Welcome it as part of your journey toward success. See criticism not as an obstacle, but as evidence of your courage to move forward despite resistance. The next time someone criticizes you, remember clearly, criticism itself isn't powerful. Your emotional reaction determines its strength. Filter feedback calmly, logically, and confidently. Extract value where you can, discard negativity swiftly, and continue relentlessly forward. Ultimately, criticism can either paralyze you or propel you. The choice lies entirely within your emotional response. When you master emotional resilience, criticism loses its sting, becoming merely background noise. Occasionally helpful, often irrelevant, but never destructive. Embrace constructive criticism gratefully, reject destructive criticism swiftly, and remain confidently focused on your path. Master this mindset, and criticism transforms from a threat into a powerful tool for personal and professional growth. In the end, the strongest individuals aren't those who avoid criticism. They're the ones who grow stronger precisely because of it. Keeping composure under pressure, turning stress into strength. Pressure is life's ultimate test. It strips away pretenses, exposing our true character. Some people collapse under its weight, their composure crumbling at the first sign of trouble. But others, those with genuine strength, thrive precisely when pressure mounts. For them, intense challenges aren't threats, they're opportunities to demonstrate resilience, clarity, and unshakable calm. Imagine yourself in the eye of a storm, chaos swirling around you, uncertainty pressing in from every side. Most people instinctively panic, losing their grip on reason and logic. They surrender control to fear, frustration, and anxiety. Yet amidst that same storm, some individuals remain remarkably composed. How do they do it? They aren't simply lucky or gifted. They've consciously prepared their minds for these moments, transforming inevitable pressure into an opportunity for strength. The secret to maintaining composure under pressure starts with preparation. Those who anticipate uncertainty aren't shocked or derailed when it arrives. They recognize that setbacks, disappointments, and disruptions are not occasional anomalies. They are guaranteed parts of life. By accepting this truth in advance, they protect themselves from surprise. Instead of reacting emotionally, they respond thoughtfully, strategically, and deliberately. Visualize a seasoned warrior entering battle. He never expects the fight to be easy or straightforward. He anticipates resistance, surprises, and setbacks. He knows situations rarely unfold exactly as planned, so when the unexpected inevitably happens, he doesn't panic or complain. He adapts instantly, recalculates calmly, and executes his plans strategically. This warrior mentality, anticipating and accepting inevitable adversity, is precisely how you maintain composure in your own life's challenges. Most people lose composure because they're emotionally attached to predictable outcomes. When reality defies their expectations, they feel helpless, panicked, or frustrated. They resist uncertainty instead of embracing it. But those who master composure have already accepted that perfect control is impossible. They don't waste emotional energy wishing things were different. They calmly adapt to how things are. True strength under pressure emerges from flexibility, not rigidity. Consider someone who loses a job unexpectedly. Initially, panic sets in. How will I pay my bills? What will others think? What if I fail to recover? But a composed individual reacts differently. Instead of spiraling into fear, they pause, assess their options rationally, and calmly pivot towards new opportunities. Their adaptability provides clarity, giving them a powerful advantage over those immobilized by stress. To cultivate this adaptability, start shifting your perspective. Rather than seeing pressure as a crisis, view it as a challenge, an opportunity to showcase your composure and strategic thinking. When stressful situations arise, remind yourself, this is a test of my resilience, my discipline, and my strength. My response will define me. By reframing pressure positively, you transform it into a powerful motivator rather than a debilitating burden. Preparation is another essential practice. Just as athletes rehearse relentlessly before major competitions, mentally strong people regularly prepare themselves for life's uncertainties. Visualize difficult scenarios ahead of time, unexpected setbacks at work, difficult conversations, or high-stakes negotiations. Mentally rehearse how you will respond, calmly, decisively, and strategically. When these situations inevitably occur, your mind instinctively recalls your preparation, enabling you to react with clarity and confidence rather than panic or impulsiveness. Leaders who remain composed under pressure inspire tremendous respect. Think of the most influential figures in history. They didn't crumble when confronted by crises. They stood firm, radiating calm certainty. People instinctively trust leaders who don't panic. Your ability to remain steady in turbulent situations will draw others towards you, amplifying your influence and respect. Consider a scenario in your workplace. A major project fails unexpectedly. Emotions flare, fingers point, panic sets in among colleagues. Yet instead of succumbing to chaos, you remain composed. You calmly analyze the problem, quickly develop a clear solution, and communicate it confidently. Your emotional detachment from the crisis instantly positions you as the team's natural leader. Others look to you, drawn by your strength, composure, and strategic clarity. When you master this mindset, external events no longer control your emotions. You no longer desperately cling to predictability or perfection. You acknowledge that setbacks and disruptions are guaranteed, and you prepare mentally to face them. Your power comes from your acceptance of life's inevitable challenges. Rather than resisting reality, you embrace it, navigating uncertainty with calm precision. To begin building this composure today, practice mental rehearsals. Visualize scenarios that typically trigger anxiety or panic. Imagine yourself responding calmly and decisively. Feel the peace of clarity rather than the chaos of panic. With each visualization, your emotional responses become less reactive and more strategic. Over time, this mental conditioning becomes second nature, transforming pressure from a threat into a familiar, manageable challenge. Another practical method is breathing. When pressure mounts, pause to take slow, deliberate breaths. This simple practice quickly reduces emotional intensity, restores mental clarity, and prevents impulsive reactions. In moments of intense stress, disciplined breathing reminds your mind that you're in control, not your emotions. In the end, maintaining composure under pressure isn't about never feeling stress. It's about refusing to be controlled by it. Pressure doesn't disappear, but your emotional attachment to predictable outcomes does. You stop fearing uncertainty and start embracing it. Your internal calm remains unbroken, allowing you to navigate challenges strategically and effectively. When others crumble under pressure, you remain standing, calm, confident, and unshakable. You no longer panic, you simply adapt. You don't react emotionally, you respond strategically. Your composure becomes your greatest advantage, empowering you to turn stressful situations into opportunities for remarkable growth. This is true strength. This is real power. And once mastered, this composure ensures you'll remain undefeated, not despite life's pressures, but precisely because of them. Letting go of what you can't control. The path to unshakable peace. Life is inherently uncertain, yet so much of our suffering arises precisely because we resist this reality. We cling desperately to outcomes we can't control, and when things inevitably don't unfold as planned, we spiral into frustration, stress, and disappointment. But imagine a different approach, one that frees you from this endless cycle of emotional turbulence. Imagine a life where you're no longer fighting reality, but flowing effortlessly with it. This is the power of letting go. Consider how rivers flow. They encounter countless obstacles, rocks, fallen trees, sudden drops, yet they never stop moving forward. Rivers don't fight or resist these barriers. Instead, they gracefully adapt. They move around, under, or over the obstacles, continually finding new pathways forward. They teach a powerful lesson. Strength doesn't come from rigid resistance, but from flexible adaptation. This metaphor perfectly captures the power of letting go of what you cannot control. Most of us spend our energy desperately holding on to expectations. How our careers should unfold, how relationships should evolve, how others should behave. When reality deviates from our rigid plans, we're devastated, feeling like we've failed. Yet, the real source of pain isn't the situation itself. It's our rigid attachment to how things should have been. By gripping tightly to our expectations, we become prisoners to circumstances beyond our influence, inevitably causing ourselves unnecessary suffering. But genuine strength and true peace comes when we consciously release our attachments to uncontrollable outcomes. Imagine facing life with a profound sense of acceptance and adaptability, trusting that even if things don't unfold exactly as planned, you will thrive regardless. This isn't passive resignation. It's an active decision to redirect your energy toward what you can influence, rather than wasting it resisting what you can't. Consider this scenario. You pour everything into landing your dream job, preparing tirelessly, excelling at interviews, certain you've secured the opportunity. But suddenly you learn you weren't selected. Instantly, disappointment overwhelms you. Anger, frustration, and doubt take hold. You question yourself endlessly, agonizing over what could have been different. But now imagine choosing another response, calmly acknowledging that this outcome, though unexpected, is beyond your control. Rather than fighting reality, you adapt, exploring new opportunities, uncovering possibilities you previously overlooked. Your ability to let go turns potential despair into renewed purpose. Adapting doesn't mean giving up. It means shifting your energy to the parts of life you genuinely control. You may not control who hires you, how someone treats you, or whether external circumstances align perfectly, but you always control your reactions, your attitude, your decisions moving forward. When you master this mindset, you're never trapped by circumstances. You're continually empowered, focused on what you can actively shape and influence. The key to letting go lies in developing self-awareness. Next time you feel yourself clinging rigidly to a specific outcome, whether it's a personal goal, a relationship, or an expectation, pause. Ask yourself, is this outcome genuinely within my control? If the honest answer is no, consciously decide to release it. Redirect your energy toward actions and decisions you can control, letting go of the emotional struggle against reality. Start practicing this skill in small moments first. Minor inconveniences, unexpected delays, daily irritations. Suppose you're stuck in traffic, growing increasingly frustrated because you'll be late for an appointment. Rather than fighting reality, traffic is beyond your control, choose acceptance instead. Breathe deeply, acknowledge the delay, and use the moment productively, perhaps mentally rehearsing your appointment or reflecting calmly. Small moments of letting go gradually build emotional resilience, making it easier to handle bigger challenges with grace and adaptability. Embracing uncertainty builds powerful resilience. Consider the most resilient individuals you know. They aren't those who rigidly cling to plans. They're those who effortlessly adapt when plans inevitably change. They move fluidly with life's unpredictability, remaining calm even amid turmoil. Their strength isn't rigidity, it's flexibility. Their emotional composure arises directly from their ability to let go quickly of things outside their control, allowing them to focus clearly on what truly matters. Many mistakenly equate letting go with apathy or detachment from life. But genuine detachment isn't indifference, it's profound wisdom. You can deeply care about your goals, relationships, and experiences without suffering when things don't follow your exact blueprint. Detachment isn't about withdrawing from life. It's about engaging fully while acknowledging that ultimate outcomes often lie beyond your control. Imagine carrying this freedom into every area of your life. Imagine relationships where you're no longer desperately attached to others' reactions or approval. Imagine professional pursuits where setbacks become opportunities rather than sources of stress. Imagine navigating life's uncertainties calmly, confident in your adaptability, knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. This profound inner peace becomes your everyday reality once you master letting go. Ultimately, the strongest individuals aren't those who fight life's uncertainty. They're those who embrace it. They flow gracefully around obstacles like rivers, effortlessly adapting, never losing their momentum. Their peace is unshakable, rooted not in external circumstances, but in their acceptance of life's inherent unpredictability. Today, start releasing your grip on rigid expectations. Begin embracing uncertainty, trusting your adaptability. With each conscious release of things beyond your control, your resilience grows, your inner peace deepens, and your emotional strength multiplies. When you master this skill, letting go of what you can't control, life no longer burdens you with unnecessary suffering. Instead, every situation, no matter how uncertain, becomes an opportunity to demonstrate your adaptability, resilience, and strength. Like the river, you never stop flowing forward, calmly navigating every obstacle in your path. This, more than anything else, is true freedom. Silence as the ultimate power move. Why quiet strength commands respect. In a world where everyone competes to speak louder, speak faster, or fill every moment with noise, silence becomes a remarkable weapon. It's counterintuitive, yet profoundly true. Silence holds extraordinary power. Far from being passive or weak, silence is your most strategic tool, commanding respect, revealing intentions and shifting dynamics entirely in your favor. Picture a crowded room. Voices compete, each trying to assert dominance or win approval. Amidst this noise, imagine one person quietly observing, calm, composed, and silent. Instantly, your curiosity focuses on them. Why aren't they speaking? What are they thinking? What secrets might their silence hold? Their quietness commands attention precisely because silence is rare, intriguing, and deeply powerful. Most people rush to speak first, afraid silence signals weakness or uncertainty. They fill gaps desperately, explaining too much, giving away their power with unnecessary chatter. But truly influential people recognize silence as their greatest asset. They know every spoken word reveals intentions, vulnerabilities, and thoughts. Silence, by contrast, keeps your intentions hidden. It forces others to speak, exposing their motivations, insecurities, and strategies. In every conversation, negotiation, or confrontation, the silent party automatically holds the upper hand. The longer you remain quiet, the more uncomfortable others become. Silence creates tension, a powerful, palpable energy that compels others to fill the void. This instinctive discomfort leads them to reveal crucial information, negotiate against themselves, or compromise unnecessarily. Silence isn't merely absence of speech. It's an active, strategic force shaping outcomes to your advantage. Imagine sitting across from someone during tense negotiations. They present their offer and then wait expectantly for your reaction. Most negotiators immediately respond, accepting, rejecting, or countering. But what if you stayed silent instead? Not defensively silent, confidently silent. As seconds tick by, tension builds. Your opponent grows uneasy, uncertain about your intentions or expectations. Uncomfortable with silence, they start making concessions or offering better terms to provoke a reaction. Without uttering a word, you've gained leverage, improving your position simply by refusing to react prematurely. Silence is similarly powerful when confronted with criticism or insults. Most critics crave reactions. They want you upset, defensive, or angry. When you respond emotionally, you grant their words power. But when you remain silent, smiling calmly without reaction, you leave them confused, frustrated, and ultimately powerless. Your quiet strength disarms their hostility, reflecting their negativity back at them. Their insults lose potency, falling harmlessly against your calm indifference. Silence transforms from vulnerability to invincibility. Yet silence is more than just a negotiation tactic. It's a powerful tool for observation and insight. Those who master silence listen deeply, seeing and hearing far more than anyone who speaks impulsively. While others rush to react, powerful individuals carefully watch subtle signals, body language, facial expressions, tone shifts that others overlook. They absorb valuable information, clearly understanding motives and hidden intentions without revealing their own. Their silence doesn't mean they're uninformed. Rather, they're carefully gathering intelligence, strategically waiting to speak only when truly necessary. History's most influential leaders, negotiators, and visionaries all recognize the power of silence. Winston Churchill, famously silent at strategic moments, compelled rivals and allies alike to speak first, revealing their positions and weaknesses. Similarly, in intense conflicts, Nelson Mandela often remained quiet, patiently observing opponents, understanding their motivations and fears before responding. Their silence spoke louder than words, strategically transforming situations to their advantage. Developing this skill yourself requires practice. Start by observing more and speaking less in everyday interactions. Resist the urge to immediately respond during conversations or conflicts. Practice pausing deliberately before answering questions or reacting to criticism. Initially, this might feel unnatural or even uncomfortable, but soon you'll notice how others become more respectful, attentive, and curious. Your words, when eventually spoken, carry significantly more weight because your silence has already conveyed your power and composure. Consider the next heated argument or tense confrontation you face. Instead of reacting defensively, angrily, or emotionally, simply remain calm and quiet. Allow others to exhaust themselves, revealing their emotions, strategies, or insecurities. As tension mounts, they'll become increasingly desperate for your response. Your eventual words, carefully chosen and delivered calmly, will resonate deeply, leaving a powerful impact precisely because you didn't speak impulsively or react emotionally. Your silence magnifies your presence, turning conflict into control. Even in daily interactions, silence subtly conveys authority. Imagine attending meetings where everyone rushes to offer opinions, interrupting each other, desperate to appear knowledgeable. Meanwhile, you calmly observe, listening intently, speaking only when you have genuinely valuable insights. Soon, your colleagues instinctively turn to you for thoughtful opinions or guidance. They respect your words far more deeply, precisely because you don't waste them. Your silence amplifies your credibility, authority, and influence effortlessly. It's essential, however, not to confuse strategic silence with passive silence. Strategic silence isn't avoidance, cowardice, or weakness. It's a deliberate, conscious decision to withhold immediate reaction in order to gain clarity, leverage, or insight. It's silence driven by discipline, confidence, and composure, not fear. Used strategically, silence empowers you, enhancing your strength, influence, and authority in any situation. Ultimately, silence becomes your greatest tool, not because you lack words, but because you consciously choose when and how to use them. It transforms interactions entirely, shifting dynamics decisively in your favor. People become naturally drawn to your composed confidence, respectful of your understated authority, and intrigued by your quiet strength. You don't demand attention, your silence naturally commands it. In a noisy, chaotic world desperate for validation and attention, silence truly stands apart. It becomes your ultimate advantage, compelling others to reveal themselves first, allowing you to navigate every situation from a position of strength. Mastering silence doesn't merely improve negotiations or conflicts, it elevates every aspect of your life, empowering you profoundly. Remember clearly, silence isn't empty, it's deeply powerful. Speak less, listen more, observe carefully, and watch as your silence quietly but decisively transforms your world. Training yourself to stay calm, building an unshakable mind. Imagine having complete command over your emotions, staying calm even in moments of intense pressure, frustration, or uncertainty. Imagine facing challenges with an unwavering sense of clarity and inner peace. Achieving this powerful state isn't a matter of luck or natural temperament. It's the result of intentional, disciplined training. Mental strength, the kind that remains calm under any circumstance, is developed daily through disciplined habits, gratitude, and emotional detachment. Your mind is a battleground. Every thought you entertain can either strengthen or weaken your emotional resilience. Fear, anxiety, doubt, frustration, these emotions often control people, shaping their reactions and defining their limitations. Yet the strongest individuals experience these same emotions without becoming their prisoners. Their secret? They've trained their minds consistently, refusing to be overwhelmed by temporary emotional reactions. The first critical step in building this unshakable mindset is daily discipline. True mental strength isn't developed occasionally or accidentally. It's deliberately cultivated every single day. Like athletes who condition their bodies through regular training, emotionally resilient people condition their minds with intentional daily habits. Discipline isn't merely self-control. It's a consistent commitment to developing the mental habits required for long-term emotional mastery. Start small, building your daily discipline step by step. Wake up slightly earlier each morning, despite the temptation to sleep longer. Choose to exercise regularly, even on days you'd rather skip. Commit to small promises made to yourself, and keep them without fail. Each seemingly minor act of discipline strengthens your mind, teaching it resilience, accountability, and reliability. Over time, these daily disciplines transform into powerful mental habits that ensure calm composure becomes second nature. Another essential practice for mental strength is gratitude. Gratitude isn't simply a feel-good practice. It's a powerful mental discipline that actively rewires your mind to stay calm under pressure. When you intentionally focus on gratitude, even amid challenges, your perspective shifts dramatically. Rather than becoming overwhelmed by negative emotions, your mind naturally searches for positives, opportunities hidden within difficulties. Gratitude creates mental clarity, emotional balance, and resilience in ways few other habits can match. Consider someone faced with sudden adversity, a failed business venture, personal betrayal, or unexpected health issue. Without mental discipline, they might spiral into despair, frustration, or anger. But a mind trained in gratitude responds differently. Rather than succumbing to negativity, this disciplined individual immediately seeks reasons to remain grateful. Supportive relationships, personal strengths, valuable lessons learned from adversity. Gratitude empowers them to remain emotionally balanced, calmly navigating difficulties rather than being overwhelmed by them. Detachment, another cornerstone of mental training, complements discipline and gratitude perfectly. Detachment doesn't mean emotional numbness or indifference. It means conscious emotional control. It's understanding that you cannot always control events around you, but you can always control your emotional response to those events. Detachment frees you from unnecessary emotional turmoil, allowing you to remain calm, clear-minded, and composed even in chaotic situations. Visualize a storm, turbulent winds, heavy rain, chaos everywhere. Most people panic, overwhelmed by circumstances they can't control. But emotionally resilient individuals remain steady, calm, and unaffected, standing firmly rooted as the storm passes around them. They practice detachment, clearly recognizing which elements are beyond their control and which aspects they can directly influence. This ability to detach emotionally provides extraordinary clarity and strength, enabling calm, strategic responses rather than impulsive emotional reactions. How can you begin cultivating this powerful habit of detachment? Start by consciously observing your emotional reactions in daily life. When faced with frustration or irritation, pause. Ask yourself calmly, is this emotion genuinely helping me, or am I losing control unnecessarily? Acknowledge your feelings without immediately reacting. Gradually, you learn to separate emotions from automatic reactions. Over time, this practice builds powerful emotional resilience, making you less reactive and more strategically responsive. Mindfulness meditation further strengthens emotional detachment. Through regular mindfulness practice, you train yourself to observe emotions and thoughts non-judgmentally without immediately reacting. Meditation builds an internal space between stimulus and response, providing you essential seconds to choose calm over impulsivity. Each meditation session reinforces emotional discipline, gradually building an inner fortress that remains unshaken by external turmoil. Consider the most composed, respected leaders in history. They mastered emotional detachment through disciplined mental training. Abraham Lincoln, renowned for his calmness during America's most chaotic period, maintained daily habits of reflection and discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Roman emperor, practiced daily journaling, reinforcing emotional detachment by observing and managing his reactions deliberately. Their unshakable composure wasn't luck. It resulted directly from disciplined mental training and consistent emotional detachment. To effectively cultivate this mindset yourself, commit daily to these three powerful habits: discipline, gratitude, and detachment. Each morning, set clear intentions, reaffirming your commitment to emotional strength. Throughout the day, consciously practice gratitude, actively identifying positives even amid difficulties. And whenever emotional reactions threaten your calm, pause deliberately, practicing detachment, observing your emotions without becoming their victim. This daily mental conditioning transforms ordinary moments into powerful opportunities for strengthening your mind. Like muscles becoming stronger through resistance, your mental resilience grows through disciplined daily practice. Small moments, resisting impulsive reactions, practicing gratitude amid minor frustrations, maintaining discipline in daily routines, accumulate over time, creating profound emotional strength. Eventually, this discipline becomes instinctive. Pressure no longer rattles you. Emotional turmoil no longer controls you. Challenges, setbacks, even criticisms become opportunities for demonstrating your extraordinary calmness and clarity. Others notice this remarkable composure, drawn naturally to your quiet strength. You become an example, silently inspiring those around you to cultivate similar discipline and resilience. Ultimately, training yourself to remain calm is among the most powerful investments you'll ever make. It affects every aspect of your life: personal relationships, professional success, emotional well-being. Your mind becomes unshakable, your emotions become balanced, and your life becomes defined by calm, confident strength rather than reactive impulsiveness. This powerful mindset, built on discipline, gratitude, and detachment, ensures that no external circumstance ever controls you again. No matter what challenges you face, you remain calm, focused, and resilient, standing strong amid life's inevitable storms. This is the power of a mind deliberately trained to remain calm under any circumstance. Mastering moving in silence. Let your actions speak louder than words. In a noisy world, where most people constantly announce their plans, seek validation, and crave immediate recognition, true strength quietly stands apart. Genuine power never needs to advertise itself. It operates silently, methodically, and purposefully, letting actions and outcomes do the talking. This powerful approach to life, mastering moving in silence, is the secret behind real influence, respect, and lasting success. Think of the most genuinely powerful individuals you admire. They aren't usually the loudest voices in the room, nor are they those who constantly proclaim their achievements. Instead, they quietly pursue their goals, silently mastering their craft, allowing their results to speak for themselves. They don't seek validation or external approval because their confidence, purpose, and drive come entirely from within. Why does moving silently hold such profound power? Because words without results hold little value. Announcing your plans prematurely invites scrutiny, doubt, and unnecessary pressure. People become skeptical, wondering if your actions will match your words. Silence, by contrast, protects your ambitions, gives you space to focus, and ultimately amplifies your impact. When your results finally appear, they're far more impressive, precisely because you never boasted or sought validation along the way. Imagine setting a significant personal goal, starting a business, pursuing advanced education, transforming your physical health. Most people immediately share their intentions publicly, craving encouragement and approval. Yet this premature announcement often dilutes their motivation. The applause or validation received becomes addictive, yet empty. People praise intentions, but true respect is reserved for outcomes. But now imagine taking the opposite approach, working diligently, silently, without sharing your plans widely. Imagine letting your success surprise others completely, speaking volumes through powerful outcomes rather than empty promises. History's greatest achievers consistently mastered this silent discipline. Consider Albert Einstein. He quietly labored in solitude, his groundbreaking ideas revealed only once fully developed. Leonardo da Vinci, known for meticulous discipline, rarely announced his intentions, instead letting his astonishing creations speak profoundly. Even modern-day visionaries like Elon Musk quietly pursue ambitious projects, surprising the world repeatedly with extraordinary outcomes rather than empty announcements. These remarkable figures understood clearly. Genuine respect comes from results, never from mere words. Moving in silence requires deep self-discipline. It demands resisting the natural urge to seek external approval or validation for your goals. But the rewards are immense. Without external noise, your internal focus sharpens dramatically. You remain unaffected by criticism or skepticism, calmly pursuing your vision without distraction. Your efforts remain pure, driven solely by passion, purpose, and relentless discipline, not temporary applause or fleeting approval. This approach isn't limited to grand ambitions. It applies equally to daily life. Imagine choosing silence at work, quietly outperforming expectations without announcing your every success. Others eventually notice your exceptional outcomes, respecting you deeply precisely because you never sought attention or praise. Similarly, imagine silently working toward personal improvements, like physical fitness, emotional resilience, or mastering a skill. Your progress becomes evident, respected far more deeply precisely because you never bragged or advertised your efforts. Your results speak volumes louder than any words ever could. Moving silently also creates powerful strategic advantages. When your intentions remain hidden, competitors or detractors can't easily undermine your efforts. Your silence keeps others uncertain about your plans, intentions, and next moves. By the time they realize your objectives, you've already succeeded, already secured your advantage. This strategic silence ensures you control your narrative, maintain leverage, and remain constantly ahead. How can you practically develop this powerful silent discipline? First, commit internally. Keep significant goals and ambitions private, sharing them sparingly or not at all. Resist the immediate temptation to seek approval or encouragement from others. Instead, channel this energy into disciplined action. Focus relentlessly on doing rather than announcing, allowing quiet discipline to drive your daily habits and routines. Build patience. Moving in silence requires accepting delayed gratification. You won't receive immediate applause or recognition, but remind yourself true respect and validation come later, once results speak unmistakably. Patience strengthens your character, building deeper internal motivation and lasting resilience. Over time, you learn to crave achievement itself rather than external approval, profoundly shifting your relationship with success. Finally, recognize that silence itself commands respect. Your quiet confidence, relentless discipline, and unwavering focus naturally draw others toward you. People sense your authenticity immediately, drawn instinctively toward your calm strength. Your refusal to seek validation or praise only amplifies the respect others hold for you, enhancing your influence subtly yet powerfully. Ultimately, mastering the art of moving silently transforms your entire life. Your goals become clearer, your efforts more disciplined, your impact significantly greater. You no longer chase validation. You attract genuine respect naturally, effortlessly through undeniable outcomes rather than empty promises. Remember, true power is quiet, purposeful, and relentless. It needs no external applause or validation, because real respect is always earned silently, through disciplined actions and powerful results. Master this quiet strength, and your life becomes a powerful statement, not through words spoken loudly, but through outcomes achieved silently, relentlessly, and undeniably.